In this lesson, we're going to be looking at factoring. Our objectives: understand the process of factoring polynomials. Basically, there are two main ways that we're going to look at. One is basically a process of undistributing, so thinking about having a problem and taking something out rather than multiplying into it. The other process is using our punnett square that we typically use to expand. We're going to use to figure out what created that polynomial. Our vocabulary, pretty simply, is factoring, the process of rewriting an expression as a product of factors. So the idea here is to take the multiplied out version that we have and work backwards into the parts that created it. So the first thing we're going to start with is basically the undistributing part. So if you don't have the x squared stuff in front and you just have the x and nothing, what we can easily do is undistribute something that is already in the problem. So we have 4x and 6. Both of these share the ability to be divided by 2. So we're going to take a 2 out of each one. So we're going to put that 2 in front because that's what we're pulling out. And when we divide this, we're going to have 2x. We're going to have 3. And this is still positive because we didn't work with any negatives here. So if you notice, this distributing problem would create 4x plus 6, and that's the idea here. Then we've got 2x squared minus 8x, so we're going to look at what can be taken out of both of these. A 2 can be taken out of both of these, but also an x can be taken out because this one has x squared and this one has x. So each one has 1x. We can pull that out. So we're going to get 2x. When we divide that, we're going to be left with just an x here and minus 4. So again, we have basically undistributed here. The more complicated process is when we have a full polynomial. And when we have this, the easiest way is to use the punnett square that we've been using in the past to expand, except this time we're going to create our two parts. So we always start with this here. So we've got x squared. We're going to put that in the top left-hand box. X squared comes from x times x. So x times x gives us x squared. Then we go to this 12, and the 12 has to go right here. Then we need to look for numbers that create a positive 12 by multiplying. Well, so what you also need to look at is this right here, the plus 8. So because this is positive and this is positive, all our numbers are going to be positive. So we want 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. So these are our possibilities that can make 12. What we're looking for is the two of these that will combine to make positive 8. Well, 2 and 6 make 8, so let's try that one first. We put a plus 2 because it's positive 2. Put a plus 6 because it's positive 6. So we take x times 6 and get 6x. Take 2 times x and get 2x. And then we have to add those together and see if it makes that. And if it does, it works. Okay, so 6x and 2x make 8x. So this one works. So our factored version is right here. So each side is part of the factored version. So we have x plus 6, x plus 2. A little bit different setup here. Notice there's no bx part. Anytime there's no bx, you should always put that in. So we have x squared plus 0x minus 16. And now we need to go on to our punnett square, and I'm going to go a little bit quicker this time. This one's going to be a negative 16, which is important, because negative 16 means we need negatives and positives. Okay, so I have these options: negative 1, 16, negative 16, 1, negative 2, 8, negative 8, 2, and negative 4, 4. I'm not going to switch those because it'd be the same either way. But these need to add up to 0. And the only one that looks like it adds up to 0 is negative 4 and positive 4. So I'm going to put negative 4 here, positive 4 there, and I'm going to test it out. Negative 4x and positive 4x make 0x, so this one works. There's our factored form. The last one can be kind of a challenge. What we've got here is we have an a value that's not 1. Whereas in the past it's been 1. So the best thing to do here is to see if we can pull that a value out. So if all these numbers are divisible by 3, we can make this a lot simpler, which these are. Notice 3 times each of these gives us back to the start. Now we can do the box to this. We just can't forget the 3 when we write our answer. So we still need that 3. This still comes from here. So the 3 is off on its own right now. Numbers that make negative 6. Okay, so we've got 4 options here. We need one that's going to add up to negative 5. This will give us positive 5. This will give us negative 5. So let's try that. Combine these to make sure that it equals that. Negative 6x and positive 1x make negative 5x, so it works. So our factored form is x minus 6, x plus 1. But what you have to remember is we had that 3 in front, so we got to bring it down. Okay, these are the basics of factoring. I didn't hit every situation possible, but we'll kind of figure those out as we go. If there's anything that you missed or need to see again, make sure you pause, rewind, and rewatch, and bring any questions to class. Thank you.